Hello guys, welcome to my humble YouTube channel where I bring you fanfiction that will brighten your days. Before we start, a subscribe is greatly appreciated, and don't forget to leave a like and ring the bell icon so you won't miss exciting new fanfiction stories. The Saint of War, Tensura x DxD, by Kischur Chapter 9. 2 days have passed since the battle between Seal and Siegfried has happened, and ever since then, the two have gotten stronger from their resulting battle and has pursued their path to power. Siegfried has returned to his hardcore training with the fire giants of Surtur, with him training hard to become more powerful, while also returning back to the basics to acquire a more strong foundation for his skills and such, with him relearning swordsmanship and Castellana arts as well, and even using his own experience fighting Seal to upgrade the arts as much as he can. Seal, on the other hand, has become stronger, with him undergoing body reconstruction, boosting his own overall talent for martial arts and combat even more, and strengthening his body once again, making him be more powerful than he originally was. With this he has started learning stage 6 martial arts and has been fighting the Thor and other giants as well. Currently, the boy is currently in one of the branches of the great Yggdrasil tree, with him meditating under the watchful gaze of the tree above. The reason for his current action is because of how pure the tree is. It was both releasing immense nature energy, holy energy, and then divine energies as well. With all of this diverse energies being released, Seal decided to walk upon one of the branches to train himself once more. But more than that, he came here to learn more about nature and divine energies the most. With his grace of mind, he was able to easily decipher everything that the tree was giving him, how and why both energies work the way they are, and with that knowledge, he was able to modify his body once again by using holy and divine energies to enhancing his current physique. With his grace, he carefully altered his body once more, but because of his current status has reached the peak of enlightened, he couldn't just haphazardly do as he intended to do, for he still needs to be careful and not raised his power too much. But before he could do anything else, his body was now covered by a rainbow glow, surprising him. What is this? Seal spoke out, surprised by the current phenomenon that is currently happening to his body. That, my boy, is your way to go to Saint stage. When a second voice answered him, he then turned around to be met with an elderly man with his left eye gone from his face, with him also having some plant life appearing on his body as well. Saint stage? Seal asked the man, causing him to nod. Yes. I would advise you to return home for now, since the advancement to Saint stage is different to the enlightened stage, since you will need to sleep to allow your body to evolve. The man informed Seal, causing Seal to hum and then returned back to his meditative state, shocking the man. Hey, didn't you listen to a word I said? You need to return home and secure yourself. The man yelled out to Seal, who then answered him. It's fine, since I wouldn't need to go to sleep anyway. Huh. With that, now knowing what is currently happening to him, Seal made full use of his grace to accelerate the process with him, while also enhancing it as much as possible to fit his needs and wants. But more than that, he too also made full use of the strong nature and divine energies in this tree as well, to be able to enhance himself to the fullest. Doing all of this, it caused Seal to glow in pure white, while also being covered in a rainbow aura as well, with the energies of the tree also flowing into him. The elderly man, seeing all of this, was surprised and shocked by what is happening around him, but with his strong desire for knowledge, and with his own curiosity, he just let it be to witness this current sights as well. My word! His ability to manipulate his own atoms is insane. The man thought while looking at the boy before him, with him changing his appearance as the evolution goes on. It was a sight that he hasn't seen or known about for all of his life living with his I need to inform Odin that he needs to have this boy's genes running through the Norse pantheon, the man thought. Since seeing all of this, he could generally measure this boy to be one of the greatest talents that has been born in the last millennium, and with that fact alone, they need to secure his bloodline so that it would flow in the 9 realms, like what they did to Siegfried and Brunhilde, in where they secured his powerful blood that bathed in the blood of a dragon and eaten its heart. For that reason, the man has also designated the boy as well to be needed in Asgard, especially since a potential conflict that would surpass all mythological wars would appear in the next few years as well. Seal, who was the objects of his thoughts, just concentrated on his alteration, and after a few minutes has passed, the light that was surrounding him broke down, revealing his current form, while also being bathed and surrounding in a golden, rainbow aura of power, with it being in the shape of a lion's mane. But more than that, his appearance has become even more beautiful and handsome now, shocking the elderly man. My God! He was already extremely beautiful before. But now, the man thought while looking at the boy. His hair has grown longer now, with it reaching down to his knees now, with its color being its bright azure glow as before, while now also having a rainbow hue in them as well, causing them to glow and be quite eye-catching for anyone to see him. His skin has become more healthy as well, with it becoming more soft to the touch, and quite warm as well. Other than this two massive changes, his physical appearance overall has also become even more handsome and beautiful now as well. It's to the point that one could even say he is too beautiful and handsome now. What the hell is with this brat? The man thought. Finishing his evolution, Seal just stood up and then looked towards his own body to inspect it, and when seeing the effects was satisfactory, he couldn't help but smile at that. With that he then looked towards the man. Thanks for watching my evolution. Anyway, since I have reached this level, I have nothing else to do here, so see you in the future I guess. With that, Seal then left the tree branch and then hurriedly went back to Asgard to report back to Gibril, and that he too also desired to fight Thor or anyone that was available. With that, the elderly man just looked towards the rainbow light flew to the top of the Yggdrasil tree, causing him to sigh. Oh youngsters this days. How much must I have been forgotten? The man thought before leaving and then returning back to his well. Brunhilde Pav Seal Tempest, a child that just arrived 7 days ago, is currently the talk of the town, and in all honesty, he truly did deserved it for the simply fact of his achievements, beating my daughter in a duel, and even putting my own dear husband unconscious as well, albeit still losing the duel since he fell first. To this, I'm not that mad, since after all, as a Valkyrie, it is most important for us to battle and get stronger. When we win, then that means that we are doing good and as strong. When we lost, then that means that we can still get stronger and improved upon. This mentality is something that all Norse warriors has, and rightfully so as well, since after those two's defeats, they have gone back to train even harder than before, with my dear old Siegfried going in and battling Sir Tor as I think right here and now. You truly are something, Seal. For you to achieve saint stage this early on. It's like you are blessed by the world itself. I spoke to the boy, completely shocked at him reappearing before me as a saint, and more than that, his ability to also hide his evolution as well was something that I was surprised about as well. Since right now, his presence could be said to be the same as ever, but because of my close proximity to Siegfried all the time and him saying what truly is different between an enlightened one and a saint has allowed me to know that Seal right here and now is a saint, and by far the youngest as well by quite a big of a margin. That's what my mother and the others has told me as well. I don't know how much more talented I am compared to others, but what I do know is that I want to know why you have called me here. He asked of me, with his ever-present monotone voice. To this, I could only nod and then waved my hand, opening up a portal, and with that, a great sword then showed itself on top of my hands. The weapon is a great sword, with it being a legendary rank weapon, with it being personally forged by the two dwarven brothers out of respect for Seal, who beaten my husband, and upon hearing him wielding a unique grade weapon, they decided to forge him a weapon equal of his valor and strength, and with that they were able to forge this great sword for him. This is a sword that was forged by both Sindri and Brock. It is of legendary grade, and by analyzing your battle with Siegfried, they were able to build this weapon just for you. They hoped that you would liked it, I told him, while handing off the weapon to him, who took hold of it and then made few practice slices with it. With that he then turned towards me and asked, "Why? I'm not a part of this pantheon. Why grant me such a powerful weapon?" He asked me. To this, I could only hummed before answering. "A boy as smart as you would already know by this point, you know," I said to him, which caused him to let out a tiny laugh at that. "You want to be indebted to the Norse pantheon, so that I would owe one to you, right?" "That's right. You are powerful, one of the strongest humans. And one of the strongest in general. For that reason, we are banking on your potential and is just simply waiting for us to bank in our owe to you, so that you would be forced to accept it." I revealed everything to him without hesitation, since after all it would be pointless to lie to him, or worse yet, might even create some barrier between us if I were to lie, so it is better to tell the truth to his face so that he would trust us, even if extremely little. To this, he merely looked at the sword and then made it disappear to his ring. "What's its name?" "It doesn't have one. They have asked you to name it, for it is a sword that you would be using for your future battles after all, so they allowed you to name it instead." When receiving my answer, he merely looked at his ring, before sighing, "I think about it, I'm not that good at naming things after all." Very well, just say something to us if you have thought of a name for it then. I will. And just like that, sensing that I have no longer to talk about, he then bowed down to me. I will be going now, Lady Brunhilde. To this, I just smiled and then dismissed him. Very well. Alright. Can you also go and help Bianca on her training? And when stood straight up and about to leave, I immediately thought of something and then requested him to help train my daughter.
Sure. I have business with her anyway. Good. Bianca, you my full support. Go and get your man. I thought, while seeing him off. Third-person view. It has been 3 days since Seal became a saint, and since then many thing has happened, with him fighting either Siegfried and Thor, or him just attending lectures from Gibril and also entering the library as well to learn all things in the magic and combat systems of said pantheon. So overall, Seal has become confident that he has learnt everything in the pantheon to leave for his second destination, so with then see both him and Gibril in the Bifrost, with Bianca, Siegfried, Brunhilde and Odin seeing him off, while Heimdall prepare the Bifrost for Great Britain. Hey, kid, you better get back here and have a rematch, you hear? Quote. I will return Siegfried, since after all I do have a rematch that I want to fight. Seal and Siegfried's relationship has become quite great as of late, with the two becoming more and more friends with one another. In fact, one could even say that Siegfried has started to unconsciously act as a father to Seal. What caused their relationship to become so great is simply because of the amount of battles and duels that they have as of late, with Siegfried very much using all of his power to battle Seal now, since he was able to realize that Seal has become a saint, allowing him to take him seriously now and not actually kill him by accident. While the two was talking, Gibril went to Odin to talk with him. Thank you for housing us, Lord Odin, she said, while bowing down to said god. To this, he merely waved her gesture off and then looked towards Seal. You don't need to say anything to me, since after all, we are gaining from this small simple deal after all, Odin replied to Gibril, who only softly nodded at his words. It was easy to grasp on what he meant by that. The Norse is a war race, with taking any chance to battle and get stronger seriously, and with the small battles that Seal has gone to fight in Asgard and anywhere else in the 9 realms, has simply inspired many to get stronger, with some even trying to copy his techniques as well to get stronger. So in whole honestly, in this short 10 days stay, the Norse has become immensely more powerful by them just watching Seal fight and train, with the growth of both Siegfried and Bianca being the most notable one out of them all. Brunhilde, who has went to Seal, then whispered something to Seal. Do you think that Bianca would be a good wife material? She asked, wanting to know what the boy felt for her daughter, who was very much crushing over the boy. Seal, hearing the question, whispered back, she would be good a sparring partner at least. Good. What would you think if you two were to become a couple or engage even? Quote. It would be interesting, but it would be something for the future though. Brunhilde, hearing that, couldn't help but chuckle a bit, before leaving him, with Siegfried only looking at both of them in curiosity but didn't said anything. Hey. With that, Seal then turned towards Bianca, who was currently standing before him now, causing him to look up. You better return sometime in the future, so that we can have our rematch. Quote. Seal, hearing this, only smiled. Yeah. I will be looking forward to it. With that, both Gibril and Seal gave their final farewells, before going to the Bifrost to be transported to Great Britain. Bianca, what do you think about marrying Seal? Quote. What? Quote. Gabriel Pav. It has been a good month ever since the Norse pantheon made a marriage arrangement with my son, and since then many things have changed. And for the record, when they asked for my opinion of things, I just made it very clear that I would support Ciel's decision about this matter. Hearing my answer did cause them to question or try to pressure me to either side of accepting the marriage between Ciel and Bianca, or to outright refuse the marriage entirely. Of course I just scoffed at them though, since we still don't know Ciel's opinion over the matter, and so because of that, I constantly see my fellow brothers and sisters talk and argue about the whole thing like how generals argue about strategy to win in a war, but instead this time however, they are like love deities arguing with each other on who truly fits Ciel's ideal wife. In fact, one of the things that I noticed about the whole thing is the two groups that are directly opposed to each other, the ones that agrees with the marriage between them are all male angels. While the ones that are completely against the marriage are female angels, in fact even Raphael, Sariel and Ragel also went against the marriages as well, quite strongly to the point that their wings has started to flash to black, signaling the chance of them falling, which has caused them to always stop periodically, while also restarting their process when they are fine. Which caused me and many others to be worried, since at this rate, heaven might actually destroy itself in a civil war, with the two groups just fighting, which caused me and others, like Michael, Remiel and Raziel, to occasionally stop the two groups, with me being in charge of setting disputes between the two groups. Which has helped calm down the storm in which the two parties are going at each other's throats. Well, currently though, nothing is going wrong, with almost everything going back to normal. As long as nothing unexpected happens to Seal, then everything should be good. At that point, I then remembered the saying of my father, don't speak too soon. The Pendragon house is asking for a marriage arrangement between Seal and Artoria and Morgan Pendragon. Quote. Why did I open my big mouth? And also, what did you do, Seal? Why do you bring so much trouble for mama? Gibril Pav. It has been 2 days since me and Seal has left the Norse via the Bifrost, and much like I thought, the Pendragon house reacted to it, and immediately met both me and Seal, with them readily welcoming us and housing our stay Britain. It was honestly a good stay in all honesty, with the Pendragon house having a large control in the country, allowing us to have VIP treatment by the British government, and right now, I was watching Seal take on the air of the house. Is that all you got, Artoria? Seal provoke his opponent, who only gave way to a volley of sword strikes to Seal, who only effortlessly blocked all of them. Shut up. The princess yelled out, while wielding her holy sword, and then used its power to set out a holy slash towards Seal, cutting the ground in half while approaching him. Artoria Pendragon, the heiress of the great and powerful Pendragon house, and as expected of her, being the descendant of King Arthur, she is a very beautiful girl, with her about being 14 to 16 years old, with blonde hair and green eyes, with her holy sword on hand and armor covering up her own body. To this Seal only looked upon the slashed, and then nullified it with a one simply slashed, destroying attacked altogether. This didn't deter the princess, and just moved in such a way that she just continuously gotten faster and faster, to the point that by the time that she was near Seal, she already crossed the ultimate class level of speed altogether, and then gathered her holy energy to her sword. Melt slash. With that, she then gotten even more faster. She would have gotten even more faster, if not for the simple fact that Seal stopped her advancement and then brought down her blade down to the ground and then kicked her chin, sending her up in the air. But before she could go further, Seal appeared besides her and then hand chopped her back to the ground, creating a crater in the ground in where she lay. Oh, as expected of Lord Seal, it truly is a spectacle to watch, the lady that is watching the fight besides me said, causing me to look at her and asked. You truly do hate your twin that match, huh? I asked her, since ever since both Artoria and Seal has gotten into this spars to strengthen the relationships between the house and heaven, this twin of the heiress has always been siding with Seal and has been saying some diminishing words. To this, she only covered her mouth with a handkerchief to hide her painfully obvious smirk on her face. Well, obviously, since after all, she is named after my ancestor, while I was named after our ancestor's arch nemesis as well, you know, so it's within my system to go against her. Right. Whatever you say, Morgan. Morgan Pendragon, the twin to Artoria Pendragon, with her pale blonde hair, and blue eyes, and a very developed body to boot for her own age, she is quite easily a very beautiful girl, with her easily topping Artoria in that department. With that, Seal then took Artoria off the crater, fully healed, while still being unconscious with the heavy blow that she just experienced from Seal. To this, I couldn't help but take note of Ciel's body, which I couldn't do because of my shock at his early awakening as a saint. He has gotten even more beautiful now, more than that as well. His realizing and magical rainbow hue around him now. His body has been refined and gotten stronger as well, but a huge margin, to the point that his physical capabilities are on the good end of super class now. His magical energy too is also immensely powerful as well. He might just be the ultimate weapon against demonic entities now, with him transforming his entire magical energy into holy energy instead. I thought while watching him, and in truth, even for an angel like me, I starting to think that he might be too beautiful. Like seriously. Even I gotten my wings to flash to black as well. I thought while remembering the few times that my wings flashes to black, causing me to be ashamed to myself. I can't fall for him. Since if I do, then I will fail as his guard and guardian. I thought back to his beautiful golden eyes, with it now having a beautiful rainbow hue to it now. Rustle. Asterisk. Suddenly my wings suddenly revealed themselves and then started to flash in white and black, causing me to look upon it in fear. Wait. Get down. I'm not even thinking of something lewd. I said to my wings, trying and failing to hide them, which caused me endless irritation. He he he. Suddenly hearing the soft and low chuckle, I then looked upon my fellow female, Morgan looking at me and then to Seal, who was looking at me with concern in his eyes, and then back to me. I see, so it's that way huh? Quote. Whatever you're thinking it's not like that Morgan. I screamed to her, causing my wings to flash even faster than before, causing me to panic once again. It's not even that sinful. My words just caused them to flash even faster. By this point, Morgan just laughed at me, ha ha ha. It seems that your mind is telling you. But your body is obviously telling you otherwise. Quote. Jibril, I can calm you down if you want. Quote. Hearing CL's words, I couldn't help but blushed at his words. I know for a fact that what he meant wasn't anything lewd, but with my current state, and with his serious and determined eyes eyeing me up, I couldn't help but feel my legs started to weaken. I don't need your permission. I'm sorry then. Wah. Quote. Before I could ask him what he meant by that, everything went to black. Third person view. Seal, seeing that Jibril's wings started to change to black, Seal held no choice but to knock her out with a strong enough blow to her neck, causing her to fall asleep instantly, with Seal catching her, preventing her fall. With that he then turned towards Morgan, who by now was looking to him with an amused smile. Please don't ruin my fun you know, Seal. To this Seal could only raised his eyebrow at her in question, but didn't said anything. With that he then formed a bed made out of his holy energy and then laid down the two women together, while also creating 2 chairs and a table for himself and for Morgan's own use, who immediately sat upon it. But still, Morgan, please don't try to make her fall. She is a very valuable member of heaven after all. Seal asked her, who only giggled, while also opening a pocket dimension, which revealed a tea set for the two's use. Oh, but it's fun teasing her about her obvious pining for you, you know, Seal, and besides, I'm pretty sure that she is getting more and more lustful towards you as well, so she needs to confront her feelings towards you as fast as possible, before she could fall because of jealousy and lust. Morgan seriously told Seal, who only hummed, while thinking of other matter as well, and that is. Why now? Why is she crushing and lusting over me now? Seal thought, while remembering the times that they have been together. When did she started to lust over me? That was his biggest question right now. Seal has experienced many things in the Norse pantheon, with it being numerous to count because of how many he actually see and witnessed, and one of them is to actually know the feelings and gazes he gets from people. For example, would be the jealous and envious gazes of men around him, with also the hint of respect, while the other is the lust that he gets from women as well, which did creep him out by quite a big margin as well. Like, who actually lust over a child? Single quote. And how he actually came to realize this is because of the numerous ties he hangs out with Thor and Siegfried. Since after his duel with Siegfried, and with him evolving into a saint, the duo has been visiting and hanging out with Seal, which has also caused him to witness many things with their hangouts, and one of them is sex, since after all, Norse culture is heavy on sex and parties, so he was subjected to it, and even learnt the birds and the bees from Siegfried as well. Which has also caused him to develop an instinct to those that looked at him with lust, and because of his newly developed instincts, he was able to guess and learn that Jibril is either in love with him or has a crush with him. So why? I have been with her by quite some time now, but there wasn't any such gazes directed to me before. He thought, but what he didn't taken into account is his evolution into a saint, and the medium in which he also used as well. With his evolution, his body has changed down to the molecular makeup, and thanks to a higher power's interference, and with his own grace as well, he was able to alter his own body to the best it could be artificially upgraded, which is a lot, which didn't just increase his physical and magical capabilities, but also his appearance as well, and add in the fact that he used the energy of the great Yggdrasil tree in his evolution, he has become even more beautiful than before. Of course, he was already extremely beautiful, handsome before, so theoretically Jibril should have been able to control herself and be already have some resistance to it, but because of how immensely beautiful he became. Because of this, Seal has developed a special spell to hide his true appearance, so that not everyone would rave or lust over him, and so that he would be able to interact like any other person. Of course, that didn't work against Jibril though, since she herself a master magician and master illusionist after all, but of course all of those weren't really needed since she herself is an angel. Being an angel has a lot of benefits, and one of them is to have an inherent resistance to darkness itself, and with illusion magic being a part of said darkness, angels became one of the few races out there that would be said to be outright immune to illusions and such abilities, which caused Jibril to still see Ciel's true appearance. While his illusion still grants him an beautiful and handsome appearance, no matter how much he actually wants to tone it down. Because of that, to the Pendragon household, Ciel is just an beautiful, handsome boy, but to Jibril however, he is a heavenly beautiful that is unsurpassed in the realm of beauty. But still though, this is quite nice as well. To this, Ciel then turned towards Morgan, who only looked down at her tea. This feeling of just doing whatever, with the care in the world, is quite refreshing, especially since war is nearing us after all. To this, Ciel could only nod at her words, since after all, he too also quite dislikes war and conflict from what he read in the books of Heaven's library. True, it's far more better for peace to last, Ciel said, while dreaming of the day that peace could last forever.